It is truly my pleasure to introduce Betsy Anderson, the Executive Director of the American Society of International Law, a position that she has held since 2006. She also serves on the governing boards of the Friends of the Law Library of Congress, the International Law Institute, the American Bar Association Rule of Law Initiative, and Williams College, and she is an adjunct professor of law at American University Washington College of Law.
Thank you very much, Jim. And I want to join everyone else. I don't think we can say enough times. Thank you to the Jackson Center, to Jim's wonderful staff, especially to Kathy, who stepped into very big shoes. First time this year handling all of the logistics and has done a great job. And we also need to once again extend our thanks to the indomitable David Crane, without whom this wouldn't be possible. It's a real pleasure to be here and to welcome you to this capstone event of the International Humanitarian Law Dialogues, the reading of the 7th Chautauqua Declaration. I will begin by introducing our prosecutors. They're probably all well known to you now. It's important to know who's here. We have Fatou Bensouda from the International Criminal Court. We've had very important and valuable discussions. We have shared lessons learned. We have reported to one another. We have inspired one another. We have debated different approaches to international justice. And we've done all this year against a backdrop of very challenging developments in the Middle East and North Africa, a region that poses significant complexities for our international justice project. We've been reminded again and again in the last several days that this region calls for patience, for nuance, for understanding, for historical perspective, for political sophistication. And all that is important. But at the same time, against this kind of mind-bogglingly complex backdrop, it's equally important, as our prosecutors are doing in this declaration, to state in very clear terms their steadfast commitment to accountability in the service of peace and the rule of law. So with that introduction, let me read you their declaration. In the spirit of humanity and peace, the assembled current and former international prosecutors here at the Chautauqua Institution, recognizing the continuing need for justice and the rule of law as the foundation to international peace and security, and cognizant of the legacy of all those who preceded us at Nuremberg and elsewhere, commending Ms. Shabana Basij-Rasik as the 5th recipient of the Joshua Heinz Humanitarian Award for her important and impressive work in Afghanistan, noting with grave concern the recent developments in the Middle East and North Africa, and the need for compliance with international humanitarian law and for accountability for crimes committed against civilians and non-combatants, particularly in light of the alleged use of chemical weapons in Syria. Urging states and the international community to end impunity for the gravest crimes by refusing to include or accept amnesty or immunity clauses in their peace agreements, and calling on mediators and peace negotiators to integrate the international criminal justice dimension in their activities. Noting that trials can only proceed with the arrest of fugitives, and further noting the need for all states to cooperate with courts and tribunals by devising tangible efforts and effective strategies to ensure the location, arrest, and transfer of fugitives. Noting the conclusion of the trials of the International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda and of the judicial mandate of the Special Court for Sierra Leone, and the commencement of the last trial of the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia, and being aware of the commencement of the residual mechanisms of these courts. Now do solemnly declare and call upon states and the international community to keep the spirit of the Nuremberg Principles alive by preventing and condemning the use of weapons of mass destruction, including chemical weapons, and ensuring accountability for all those who use such weapons. Ensuring accountability for the perpetrators of all crimes and recognizing all victims, in particular, the most vulnerable, particularly women and children. Providing sufficient resources for all international criminal courts, tribunals, and residual mechanisms to achieve their mandates, in particular, to continue to protect and support witnesses and those made vulnerable by their cooperation. Fulfilling their obligations to locate, arrest, and transfer all fugitives from international justice, to include Omar al-Bashir, Ahmed Haroun, Ali Kushab, Abdelrahim Muhammad Hussein, Joseph Kony, Akot Odiambo, Dominique Anguen, Raska Luquia, Felician Kabuga, Proteus Piranha, and Augustine Bizimana. Signed, in mutual witness, Fatou Bensouda, International Criminal Court, Serge Brammertz, International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia, David M. Crane, Special Court for Sierra Leone, Brenda J. Hollis, Special Court for Sierra Leone, and Hassan Jallow, International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda. I'll now ask the prosecutors, each in turn, to sign their declaration, and then we will applaud this important statement. Please join me in thanking the prosecutors for their
On behalf of all past and present prosecutors of the international criminal courts and tribunals, and to extend our deepest appreciation to those who organize and those who provide logistical and administrative support to the International Humanitarian Law Dialogues, to the Robert H.Jackson Center, the Chautauqua Institution, and all the sponsors of this wonderful event. We are so grateful that this forum allows us to confer among ourselves and to share with all of you our experiences, our concerns, and our ideas, and to benefit from the rich and varied perspectives that are presented each year by outstanding speakers and all of those who attend these dialogues. So again, on behalf of all the international prosecutors, for allowing us to participate in and to learn from these dialogues, we thank you very much.
Brenda, and I have been authorized with this to officially close the 7th Annual International Humanitarian Law Dialogues and invite you all back next year.
Thank you.